Let's take a look at how we can use the if block to let our algorithms decide what to do under different situations. With the example of the Starship robot, we saw how when it got to a zebra crossing, it needs to make a decision on whether or not it can cross the road safely. We're going to use the if block to represent that decision being made. The way the if block works, it's actually pretty similar to the repeat block. It has a condition that we need to snap to the end of it here, and then next to the do word, we're going to insert the instructions that it's going to follow if the condition above it was true. In this case, let's look at the conditions here. We have no cars on the road and cars on the road. Remember, these are conditions because they are true or false or yes or no statements. Let's just say if there are no cars on the road, so I'm going to snap that to the end of the if block there. If no cars on the road, what do we want to do? Well, let's take a look at our actions here. We want to be able to cross the zebra crossing. So that's how we can represent that very simple decision there. If there are no cars on the road, then cross the zebra crossing. Let's just run this code and see whether we got it correct. Well done, we are indeed correct. Let's just see what happens if we replace the zebra crossing with do not cross. In this case, the algorithm is saying if there are no cars on the road, then do not cross. And we check that out. That's not quite right, because in this case, it's just going to sit there, even though there are no cars on the road. Let's just try the other condition. If there are cars on the road, so I'm using the other condition here and snapping that to the end of the if statement, then what we want to do is to not cross, don't we? So if there are cars on the road, do not cross. Let's just check that, and we are correct. If we thought it would be a good idea to cross when there are cars on the road, then not quite right, because the robot's probably going to get hit. So the other thing we can do with this if block is if we click on the little cog there, I'm going to drag the else statement and snap that to the end of the if block in this little pop-up, and then click back on that icon to turn it off. You can now see we've attached an extra else word to the end of that if statement. So what this means is any block that we have inside the else will run if the condition above it is false. Let's fix that action there. So we do not want to cross if there are cars on the road. Else, that is, if there are no cars on the road, then we do want to cross. So let's check that, and we're all good. Similarly, if we flip the condition, I'm just going to get rid of all these blocks here. If we said there are no cars on the road as a condition, and if that's true, then we want to cross the zebra crossing. Else, that is, if there are cars on the road, we do not cross. And that works as well. So that's how we can use the if block with the do and else to check the condition and do different actions depending on the result of the condition. When it's true, we do the do part, and when the condition is false, we do the else part.